Welcome, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, and those who have yet to make up their minds. I am your host, JustJack.com, coming to you live from sunny San Diego with another podcast. We welcome you to subscribe to our newsletter at JustJack.com with 2 S's, because one just ain't enough. Now let's get right into the show. I have my friend, Noni Mahorny.
Hey.
I need one of those like little switchboard things, girl. You know,
with
like
noises.
the audience things, like yeah, boom, 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 boom. The $1 million question: what did you get me for Christmas?
A partridge and a pear tree.
5 golden rings. Wait, what were the milkmaids? What number was the milkmaids? 9 milkmaids.
9 milkmaids.
No, 8 milkmaids.
8 milkmaids.
What are milkmaids? I always picture the Handmaid's Tale.
It sounds problematic. Milkmaids. I'm gifting you milkmaids. It's not correct.
My friend Noni, also known as Mahorny, also known as QueQueerr, with 3 E's. Because
2 E's.
No, there's
2
3
R's.
There's 3 E's in your.
No, there's
QUE. That's 1.
Yeah.
QUEE. That's 2, 3, and then R. You got.
There's
3.
2 R's.
You got 3 E's.
And then 3 E's, I suppose. What does that mean? 3 E's.
3's a good time. Remember when we were at Sam's house and I go, 3's a crowd, and Sam was like, girl, 3's a good time.
This is true.
So go ahead and follow QueQueerr on all platforms. Well, yeah, go ahead and follow them on all platforms.
OnlyFans coming soon.
Let's get right into this, because we've been friends for quite some time. How long have we been friends for?
Oh, that's a good question. Let's see.
How old were you?
How old was I? I was 19. So I was 19 when we first met. And then we were friends after for like 2 years, 3, maybe 2 years. And then there was a falling out. And then
no, there was no falling out. There was no falling out. There was what you would call a ghosting.
A ghosting.
There was a, hey, 1 minute we're talking, the next day, no, nothing. And then that went on for how long?
Couple, I don't know, 5 years.
She's saying 2 years.
Disappeared.
I don't know.
I disappeared for 5 years. And then
5
I came
years.
back.
Then you came back. Let's talk about that, because when you didn't talk to me for quite some time, and then you just reached out to me on social media.
Instagram, yeah. Cheers. You can't see it, but Jack is taking a shot right now.
I can do whatever I want. Yeah, what happened? Why did you reach out knowing go ahead and talk about that.
I was like in a very isolated place, and I didn't really have community, and I didn't really have I knew, well, I should say, I don't know, I was looking for queer community in my life. All the communities in my life were super straight, and I just wasn't into them. I don't know. And so I suppose I reached out because I was looking for community, and I knew that in the past I had opportunity to be a part of a community, but I never understood what it meant to be part of community. And now where I'm at is I'm oh wow, I'm part of many communities, right. And that's really exciting to me. But yeah, and so there was a moment of realizing it's been in front of me this entire time, this opportunity for community. And now I have community, and it's
many.
Yeah.
And you were the one who even told me, you're my idea is to build intentional community.
Yeah.
And I was oh, I'm taking that one. Intentional community.
Yeah.
Because we built communities in the past.
Yeah.
I feel like we're both accepted into so many different communities. There's the church community, there's that community over there. Whatever we do, the drama community.
The drama community.
Right.
The telenovela.
The theater.
Yeah.
The theater. You came from the theater. That
Oh, is that what you're talking about?
That's what I was talking about,
okay,
not
wait.
the drama with the
I thought you meant like the dramatic family community. Like
well, that community too. That community too. But I feel like now, from where we stand now, it's very intentional. And let's talk about the Hen Haus community.
Oh, such a beautiful community out there. Yes.
Yeah, that's for those of you guys who are listening. The Hen Haus is actually located in Long Beach, California. And Noni is part of that. Go ahead and tell them about the Hen Haus.
Okay, yeah. So Hen Haus like came from probably how do I like describe, okay, so like quarantine happened, and it was like, oh fuck, okay, we're trapped in this, and I was kind of like, okay, well, like how do I, like, I don't know, okay, so like let me reel it back.
Let's start with the stage. Start there.
Okay, the Hen Haus is like an experience. Okay, the Hen Haus is like, so okay, first of all, the two hens that live there are Mary and Lillian, icons. And I was just kind of through this idea of like, hey, like, what if we like do social distance drag shows in the backyard, or what if we like do little things and do like social distance moments, and I'm like, and they were like very into it. And so we started creating it. So like we built like a hen house in the backyard, and then we built like straight up, we have chickens there. And we built a stage, and we started doing shows, and it was so sad. They were like, well, like they were small shows, which was really cool, but I wish like everyone could have come to them, but yeah, so we're gonna have more shows. We're gonna be having more shows like throughout, like coming up, but COVID is just kind of ruining everything, so we're like not doing shows right now.
You really did bring your creativity to life even through the pandemic. They told us stay home, so Noni's like, well, I'm gonna stay home, but I'm gonna stay home in Long Beach. And he was like, I'm gonna build a stage, and I was like, oh, good for you, go girl, go ahead. And then Noni's like, oh, my stage is done. And then he goes, now I'm gonna perform. Now I'm gonna build a hen house. I'm gonna build, and they were all taking part of the collaboration of community really is what went down, because y'all were just stuck at home together.
Yeah.
And really brought that place to life. Even when I first went there, your very first, was it your first show that was there?
Yeah, that was the second show you came to, but it was like, okay, so like the first time we did a show in like September, and it was kind of like a test run. It was like the stage was finished, everything was done.
What show was that? Did you put that on online?
Yeah, I put it online. Yeah. And it was we invited like just like a couple people, and that was my first time ever going on the stage. And I had like no idea what was gonna happen. I was just like, I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. I built this stage, and all of a sudden I have to perform on it, and I had like so much anxiety that day, and because I didn't know how I was gonna do the show.
What did you perform that day?
That day is okay. So that day I did Haunted House. I did This Is Me, and then what was the other one? And then there was and then Miley Cyrus, probably. No,
unmemorable, irrelevant. But the This Is Me, that was I was watching This Is Me from my house in San Diego, and This Is Me was your last number, and it was great because you had that big sheet up on the back of the stage, and then there was a projector that showed like a video that you had made with like RGB, and was Martin Luther King in there, Malcolm, who was in there? Okay,
so like in there
during the Black Lives Matter.
Yeah. So right? I created that in May during the Black Lives Matter movement. No, I think it's July. I created that in July, where I just like saw all the footage and all the content like during that time I was just like watching everything and it was like so unbearable, and I was like, what should I do? And I was like, I'm gonna put it all in a video.
Yeah.
It's just like what I'm seeing, like all those clips in that video were like things that just I saw on my world, like in my world of the internet, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I know like other people don't see it, I don't know, and I was like, let me put it in a video, and then I'm gonna like dance in front of it and hopefully like make us all feel better a little bit.
Yes.
I mean, I don't know. Yeah.
And you did.
Yeah.
They weren't expecting it. The audience wasn't expecting it because, you know, I could hear them talk while you're backstage getting ready because the camera is in the audience with all of them.
Oh yeah,
and so they're having little conversations. And then when that came on, they were like, "Oh my God, she went there! Oh my God!" You know, and it was funny listening to it. I'm like, she went there.
Yeah,
she did it all the way, all the way.
It was cool because the first show, it was kind of like workshop almost. It was my first time performing it for like anyone, and I was like, let me showcase. And the way I did it is I was like, oh, we have a bunch of queens here for you, and it was like just me. But I like had three, so I like showcased my 3 numbers as like 3 different drag queens.
Yeah,
and I was like, this one has a lot of anxiety. This one is like ready to show, I don't know, empower you, and then a whole little thing. So then when you came to the show, what was nice is that I had like workshopped a lot of the performances. It felt like I workshopped them already. I mean, but even then I felt like that was workshopping my performances too.
Well,
yeah. I mean, every time it's like they're not the same. But yeah, so then when you came to that performance, I felt that was like the show to be at. You were at the show to be at.
That was the second show,
yes,
right?
Yes.
The second show. Oops. Yeah, the second show. Sorry, I got thrown off track because I dropped something. That's why I shouldn't be drinking.
Drink away.
Yeah, the second show I told him that I wasn't going to the second show. I told you.
Yeah, you
wasn't
did
going.
tell me. You did tell me.
And then I ended up showing up, and that was an experience.
All right.
That was an experience being there. I had heard about the Hen Haus. And, you know, we have our own different houses here. I'm from the House of Phoenix here in San Diego. So it's kind of like so many different, the House of Armani, the House of whatever, the House of La Beja, all these different houses that you step foot into. And then going to the House of Hens, I was kind of like, whoa, this is a whole, like the energy is very much there. The house is alive.
Yeah,
definitely. The place is alive.
Yes.
Most definitely. And it's fun.
It's a good time.
You meet some fun characters. What about Zaya? Remember when Zaya?
Oh my God.
Zaya painted all of us up.
Yes.
And we were like from this alien world.
She was our leader. She painted us, and then she like, yeah. And then we were what was it, like she was our master? No,
she wasn't our master. She was the last human on Earth. And she was this all came out of her head, by the way. She was the last human on Earth in that orange jumpsuit.
Oh yes,
remember?
Yes.
And I gotta pull up the audio because I have it recorded what she thought about us. We were all just different aliens from this we were Neptunians or something like that, the planet of Neptune or something. And I was in high heels and you were red, right?
Yeah.
And then eyes all over our little Zaya. I wonder how Zaya will grow up. We've had this conversation.
Yeah, because like, you know, Hen Haus is like a non-binary world, you know, like at Hen Haus, like it's kind of like we believe that like, you know, everyone is just like non-binary, like no one, you know, like we don't subscribe to the binary there, you know.
Right.
And so Zaya, she said something like, when I come here, I don't know anyone's gender.
Yeah.
And that's so funny to me because I'm like, oh wow, like you're right, like
because we even ask about the planet of Neptune, if she were to make this planet, you know, would there be gender roles and why were they needed? And I think it was Rebecca who was like, tell me more about gender, what is it? And Zaya, you know, Zaya, how old is Zaya, do you think?
Zaya, I don't know,
probably about 7 or 8.
She's very intelligent.
Very intelligent. Yes. She's like a 65-year-old woman in an 8-year-old's body, right?
Yeah.
And she was like, when asked to respond on gender, she was like, well, she was very mindful of her surroundings. She knows. She's into it. And so she was kind of like, well, maybe you guys don't understand this yet, but there's actually two genders. Sometimes people think male and female. And so it was more like, y'all don't understand what I've been taught.
She's giving it to us.
But I don't want to put that on you guys either.
Yeah,
you know?
I love. Wow, that's true. She's laid that down so gently.
Yeah,
I wasn't there for that conversation.
She wasn't pushing male or female roles on any of us. She was just teaching us what she had learned, which I think as human beings, that's what we do. We just teach what we've learned from our perspective along the way. What have you really learned to be true?
That's a super soul conversation. I know, right? Okay.
What do you know to be true?
What do I know to be true? That's a good question. I don't know. What do I know to be true? What do I know to be true? Let's see.
Where's my soundboard? I need the.
I know. that poppers are amazing. What else do I know to be true?
Wait a second, let's go into that. That's a good one. Because for his you also, not only did you create the stage and everything for House of Hens, you also created music videos.
Oh, yeah.
Remember? And your very first music video, do you want to tell the audience what you did before we started rolling?
The music video. Oh, what do we do?
Wait. You know what? It wasn't your first one. It was the one, I'm going to the store.
Oh, going to the store. Okay, so I think my first music video was actually Miley Cyrus. Nothing Breaks Like a Heart. It was so angsty.
I wish we need to get that footage.
We need to get that footage.
You need to make your own. You need to make that video.
I do. Yeah. You helped me shoot that. So like the first one, okay, so like the first half of Nothing Breaks Like a Heart was like very angsty and it was not cute. Like when I shot with my sisters, and then when you shot me, it was like a whole different experience. I was like on the floor, like laying down on the streets. Like
you were in rollerblades.
I was in rollerblades. I was drunk on rollerblades and I fell.
And poppers.
Yeah.
And yeah, you so let's paint the picture. Noni tells me, "Can you come shoot me?" And I say, film him while he's getting ready. I mean, not while he's getting ready. For the video, and then Noni, you started playing with that palette. What was that palette from? The Mayron palette.
The Mayron palette. Which one? Oh yeah, I had the yeah. I got
the Mayron palette.
Yes,
and it's like, it's kind of solid paint, and you have to wet it. And so Noni he wasn't struggling. He just wasn't in his element, I will say.
No.
And then I was like, can I help? You're like, I would be so honored if you just paint my whole face. Can I show you what I want? So, excuse me. So Noni has this, so I paint his face like blues and purples. And then we went to go shoot and he has no clothes on.
I was half naked, yeah.
No, not half naked. You had what?
I was, yeah.
Did you have a blouse?
No, I had this like one piece suit and then like my top kept falling down.
All I remember is that fringe thong.
Oh yeah, I have the fringe. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, and mesh. Yeah, I was wearing mesh.
That's what you're wearing. Yeah, mesh and a fringe thong, and rollerblades in the middle of the street. And we just shot it. And poppers.
Yeah, and poppers. I took hits of poppers every time. Yeah. Every time, like before we shot, like I'm like, okay, you'd be like action, but before the action, I would like take a hit of poppers, and I'm like, okay, boom, we're on. Yeah.
And at the store one when Alicia shot
Alicia.
You.
I don't think I had poppers, did I?
Yes, you did.
Oh,
because
Alicia,
yes, I
did. Okay. Yes, I did. I remember.
The queen was throwing a fit.
Oh yeah.
She was being diva. She was throwing a fit. I have no nickel in this dime. I have no milk in this cow. I'm just there for the experience, And Noni was going through it, and before Alicia called action, Noni was like, "Wait!" And he pulls out his purse, and then he opens a bottle of poppers and stares right in my eyes and just
Okay. Action.
And then, okay, action. There it is.
It's true.
You love your poppers.
It's true.
You love your poppers.
What do you know to be true?
Ooh. So she went there. She went there. What do I know to be true? What I know to be true is I can love like nobody's business. That's what I know to be true. Love has been coming up a lot for me. How would you define love?
How would I define love?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know. Lately, I just like don't feel anything. So I'm like, is love even real? I don't know. I just really like.
She is so blasé about it. She's numb. She's numb.
A little bit numb. Yeah, I'm a little bit numb to the world right now. But yeah, but I know that like love is real, and I know that like love is out there, and like love is happening. But I don't know. I'm like, what was the question again?
I forgot. I feel like love is inside.
Love is inside.
I feel like love is inside, and then it radiates outward. And the more we identify it within ourselves, the more we are able to realize it outside of ourselves when it becomes when it reveals itself. Jennifer Lewis, I think, said, she was talking to RuPaul, and they both said, love yourself. That way you can identify love when it surrounds you, or something along those lines. And many people, they can't see it because they don't have it within themselves. But you really fell in love with yourself this year.
I did. I feel like I definitely like it. Yes, fell in love with myself.
What does that love look like? We'll be right back. Answer that question right back after this commercial break, because we do got a commercial break. After these messages, stay tuned. So, Noni, do you have the Jusst Jack Chat?
I do.
Where is your Jusst Jack Chat?
I think it's in my car.
Girl, I have one right here on my dresser.
I keep one in my makeup box.
Girl, how many Jusst Jack Chaps do you own?
I probably have like 3. I probably have one in my makeup, and then I have one in my car, and then I have one just floating around my bedroom.
Only 3?
Yes.
You're one of the first ones I gave Jusst Jack Chap to. All those years ago.
Yes, yeah. Yes.
What do you think about the Jusst Jack Chat?
Oh, I'm obsessed. I love it. I'm gonna put some on right now.
Tell the audience how it feels.
It feels minty. No, it's like it feels like heaven on your lips.
And why should they go buy right now?
You should go buy Jusst Jack Chat because it will fix your life. All your problems will be solved with this magical chapstick.
Now he's lying. You should go work for the Christian church. You should be a televangelist.
I should. You're sad. Well, I know the thing just for you. Jusst Jack Chap. All of a sudden you'll be happy.
Actually, when I make the Jusst Jack Chap, my prayer and intention is that people would use kind words and loving words when they put it on. So, anywho, to purchase your Jusst Jack Chap, make sure to not subscribe. Check us out at justjack.com with 2 S's, because one just ain't enough. Now back to the show. And we are back. So before commercial break, we were talking about love and what does falling in love with yourself look like for you?
What does falling in love with myself look like to me? Well, I spend a ridiculous amount of time in front of a mirror. Probably more than the average person should spend in front of a mirror. What is falling in love with yourself look like? I don't know. I just like it probably looks very self-centered. I don't know. I think like one time I don't know if this is related, but I guess like Okay, so one time someone told me like we were talking about Instagram. This was like on the subject of Instagram. And he's like, when you look at your Instagram feed, you should like love it. You should look at it and like see yourself reflected back to you and like love yourself sort of. And I like use Instagram as far as and so when he told me that, it just like clicked, and I was like, and I was like, okay, yes, like I want to create an Instagram that I love to look at. When I look at my Instagram page, I want to look at it and love it. So I use like Instagram a lot for and like loving myself, you know. It's like the parts of me that I love, and I put it out there and I put them on there, you know. So I don't know, that's like one thing about like loving yourself, like is that when I so yeah, that's yeah. That's the answer. And world peace.
Beautiful. Yeah, Noni has been known to pass by mirrors and just stare at them for hours on end. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go to the shop over here. I'll see you when I come back. And he's still at the mirror. Just kidding.
That did not happen. Get out of here.
And you know, some would call it conceited. I don't think I'm conceited. I don't think you're conceited. I'm not conceited.
Mm-mm.
I'm not conceited.
We just love ourselves.
No, bitch, I'm convinced.
What does loving yourself look like for you?
For me?
Yes.
Loving myself. It's the little things that I do for myself. Like, you know, it takes me a long time to make my bed because I have the feather comforter, and then I have the top of the comforter thing, and then I have this, and then I have that. So there's many times I used to, well, I still do sometimes, like I'll just throw myself in bed without actually making my bed. But then I'll tell myself like, hey, if there was a boy coming over, you would make that bed for the boy, you know? And so doing little things like making my bed for me because I'm gonna lay in it and I should feel comfy.
It's true.
It's little things like that. Like, oh, you know what, Jack? I love you so much. What do you feel like eating today? Do you want to eat pancit? Okay, I'm going to go to the vendong and I'm going to go buy you all the ingredients for pancit. I'm going to make you pancit tonight. You're going to be present with your meal. Because when you're present with your meal, you're present with yourself. Instead of just like sitting in front of the television set or watching a webinar or doing homework while eating, I'm kind of like present and with myself and you know, actually eating my meal. It's little things like that that remind
conscious
me.
Eating.
Sure. I wouldn't go that deep, but, you know, it's just little things like that. Yeah. Well, you know, when you're with like, let's say if you are with someone you love, you don't want to be on your phone.
It's true.
You know, it's when true. You're with someone you love, you're there with them. You're present with them. It's like y'all are just doing things together, even if it's just watching TV with Kiki. You know, just be present when I'm watching the stupid devil box.
The devil box
with her. Well, usually when I watch TV with her, we'll watch like RuPaul's Drag Race or something that we both like. The Queen's Gambit.
The Queen's Gambit.
Have you seen that show?
I have not seen The Queen's Gambit.
The Queen's Gambit. I was going to tell you about this earlier. In the Queen's Gambit, she goes back and she plays chess, and she studies all of her chess games that she's ever played to find the flaws. And it reminded me of like how you go back through your workshops. You go back and you study, okay, this worked, this didn't work, this is working, this is not working. You have a Christmas show coming up.
Oh, yes.
Let's talk about that.
Yes,
what are some things that you're going to take into the show with you that you've learned over the year?
So what am I going to take into the show? Okay, so firstly, I wanted to do a Christmas show like live in person. I was going to create a whole little world and like put it in a park somewhere, and like send the address like day of, and it was going to be iconic and it was going to be so good. But because COVID, I was like, we should probably be responsible adults and not do this. And so I like decided to like bunker down and be like quarantined, you know, which I hate. So I was like, okay, well, I could just do my show virtually. I'm gonna do the virtual show. And the virtual show, what did I like it? What did I learn from like the virtual show? Okay, so through Queer Mondays, that's how. Okay, so like all drag has moved to the online space.
Right.
Everything is virtual, all of it's online. And so when quarantine started, I would like watch these queens online. Grace Towers did a Zoom in the very beginning called like Shelter with Grace, and I
remember that.
I was upset. I got you to watch it.
Yeah,
I got you to watch it.
I showed up,
and it was queens just dancing in front of the Zoom camera. You know, like they just like set up the camera, and then they would like do a whole little number, and then like at the end of the show, and like Grace would like host the whole thing, and then at the end of the show, they would have like they would all meet. So like Grace would be like at the end like oh, like if you want to come hang out in like the virtual lounge, like the virtual like Zoom, and like everyone, and then everyone stayed. Literally everyone stayed to like talk to each other. And I just like watched it, you know, because I'm like very fly on the wall, but because yeah, so that's where I was like, okay, so I can still do I could like still have my drag fantasy on the online space. And then Lillian started throwing like the Zoom party, and then I would like perform there. So I started performing in like what was it called again? More Fun With You. It was called More Fun With You. Her Zoom dance party.
Oh, is that what it was called?
Yeah. It was 2 hours, and it was like in the beginning of quarantine, and then that's when I started performing like on the virtual space. It was so fun. And then so like now fast forwarding to like and then I would watch them. So like you have Queer Mondays, which is like amazing. Like it's like a variety show. You get drag queens, you get bands, you get weird shit. Like they encourage like it to be all over the board.
If it's weird and wacky, it's there.
Yes. And so that naturally that's why I went to them, because I'm fucking weird and wacky.
Right.
So then we started making our own videos. So then I started making my music videos. So I did the live performance. I did probably like 3 performances of that, maybe 4. They went really well. I loved it. Then we started making music videos. And the first music video that I made was a Miley Cyrus, and I was going to submit that, but then I didn't. And then I started creating more. And so the video that I submitted to Queer Mondays was Any Which Way, which was like way too sexual. Like it was like I just had to let out the sex, you know.
And nothing's wrong with that.
Yeah.
We
That's
talked
true.
about how Mae West did it.
Yeah.
You know, with her sex.
Oh
sex
yeah,
sells.
very sex sells. Sex sells.
Sex sells.
That's what I'm learning. Sex
and
sells.
The audience loves it. They love it.
Yes.
The difference between you and other queens that I was seeing at the time, because they've all stepped their pussies up. What I saw was the queens in quarantine would pick one spot to stand in, and then they would perform in that one space.
That's
You moved the camera all over your grandmother's
backyard.
Whole property.
Yeah.
I mean, you went all over the place.
Moved it around.
You moved it around, which I thought was really cool.
You got to make it interesting for me. I was like, I mean, because I love it. I enjoy it. You know, I'm like, yes. And I mean, like all of it is wonderful for me. I like to just move it around a little bit. I don't know. We're just experimenting. We're just like, we're going to move it around. But yeah. But then anyways, but so I submitted my video to like Queer Mondays, and then I started working with Cara, and I remember my video got cut. At Queer Mondays.
That's right.
I DM'd them, and I was like, I'm just upset. I was like, it's okay. I'm just a little upset. Yes.
I would have used disappointed.
What?
I would have used disappointed.
I don't know what I put. I disappointed. I don't remember, but yeah. But no, like the whole like virtual game is like very like to like run a live stream. It's like very complicated.
Well, we all showed up for that.
Yeah.
And so we had to watch the whole show, which wasn't, a bad show. It's just when you're there to watch your friend, you're waiting to see your friend.
Yeah.
And the friend never showed up, and I was like, what?
We got cut for time. I was like, did I get cut? But I know I didn't get cut. I was just, yeah. But then, so anyways, what the virtual show, right? So now I'm like, so I submitted more videos. So then I kept doing it. And then I hosted it one. Then I hosted
That's
it.
right.
Yes.
You hosted Queer Mondays.
I hosted Queer Mondays for Halloween.
Yes.
Yes.
Let's talk about that video. Let's talk about that collaboration.
Well, it was, so like I shot the whole thing at like Hen Haus, and I shot it by the fireplace, and I like had no idea what was gonna come out. I just like said, yes, I can host it, way in over my head. I was like doing a million creative projects at the time, and then I finally sat down with it, and I was like, okay, this is what we're doing, and it just whatever came out. But it was like shot in front of the fireplace, and it was fun. It was really cool. Like it was like a whole little like it was the day before election too. Oh my god, it was the day before election, and I thought the world was gonna end. Like I was like, fuck, we're gonna have Trump. What am I supposed to say to these people the day before election?
You were even asking me,
like,
should I just call it off? Should I just say I can't do it anymore? I just don't want to do it. And I told you about the day before when he got into office, how I had to give my interview the day to somebody asked me to give an interview, and it was not the day before election. It was the day he became president.
Inaugurated?
He was inaugurated that day. He got voted in.
You sent me the video, I think.
Whatever day it is when you find out number 45 is number 45, that's when that night was when my interview was. And you could see it in my face. Even though I put on a makeup, you could still feel it in my tone. I was cussing in the interview. I didn't give a shit.
Off.
The show was called Beyond the Bullshit anyways.
Oh, perfect. So
but anyway,
in the right place.
Back to the Hen Haus, I'm so glad that you did it. You even showed the video that all of us were in.
Oh yeah, my Halloween video. Oh yeah, so it was my Halloween music video. Yeah. I did like Kim Petras moment, my little Kim Petras fantasy. Called up, but called up Josue. I think that's how it happened. I called up Josue and I was like, hey, like let's shoot a music video. Or we talked about it. We like planned it, then showed up, shot the thing. We like went to Balboa, and then we like shot a music video. And they probably all thought it was crazy because I was like
I think we all still do.
Oh yeah.
Whenever we watch the video, if you see somebody, if anybody who wasn't there with us watches the video, I like watching the reactions because the looks on their face are like, what is this? Alicia's mom was the best. She's like, those go so scary. What is this? That
was that music video was so fun. It was
definitely
video. Yes. Yeah,
and you can watch it. We'll put the link to the music video wherever this is published.
Yes, definitely. I felt like that video too was like my love letter to like everyone in like House of Phoenix, and just like all like I was like, I want as much queer magic as we can like possibly make,
Mm-hmm.
And like it was fun. It was like it was one of my favorites.
Albert found the cactus.
It was Albert, Josue, Alicia, and you. And it was everyone loved your part. You stole the show. Everyone loves your part in that one.
Yeah, we went to the Bushy Head House.
The Bushy Head House icon.
With my table. And we tipped it there. Well, I tipped it. I still gotta go to the Bushy Head House and clean that damn bird shit that I said I would clean. Remember?
There's a lot of bird shit.
There was so much in the Bushy Head House. For those of you guys listening, Mr. and Mrs. Bushyhead. Mr. Bushyhead was the chief of police of San Diego in the either late 1800s, early 1900s. And his wife, Mrs. Bushyhead, comes to the table when me and Noni table tip and communicate with spirits and the dead. This is the soundboard.
I think that's why I love your line the line that you got in that music video was only in the darkness will you find your true self.
Yes.
That was like boom, your moment with the table. It was just like everything that we had been doing like through all quarantine, yeah.
Well, it's the
Mhm,
truth. You know,
mhm,
only in the darkness can you really find your true self. You got to
mhm.
be able to identify your demons, look them in the eye, and
And have
you
some poppers with them.
and have some poppers with them. Have a shot with them. You know, don't let that. You are your own devil. You are your own God.
It's true.
So
It's true.
let's talk about table tipping because we've introduced you to some shit.
Oh yeah.
Some stuff that you would never have done before this year.
Oh yeah, definitely. Table tipping is one of those things that I feel like I would have definitely been like, no, not happening. Yeah, but like it, quarantine or it's just like 2020 has been such a like year of like apocalypse, if you will. It's been such a year of like what the fuck is happening, and I was just kind of like, well, I mean, might as well just jump into it. So the table tipping, I felt like through the table tipping I found so many pieces of myself,
Right.
and yeah, just like
So much
there was
healing.
so much healing
So much
happened through the
healing.
table. Yeah.
So many eye-opening
Mm-hmm.
experiences that only you would understand.
Yeah, I think the table really gave me like the table taught me like my potential, like what what I have to offer, like what is inside of me. I guess what's inside of me and like all the things that I can do.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of like I think without the table, none of the shit that I would be doing right now, I would be doing. I would not.
They really did push you.
They pushed me every time.
They really did. They didn't
Yes.
tell you need to go do this. It was more
Mhm.
like it's in your best interest to do something along these lines.
Mhm.
You should try it out. But
Mhm.
even before that, let's talk about Groundswell.
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 Yes.
That's when you really.
That's where I was born.
That's where you were born.
I was born.
Right? Well, for those of you guys who are listening, he means that's when he went through his psychological change of life.
Oh,
you could call it the awakening process.
The awakening, yeah, yeah.
That's what the young kids are calling it, right?
So
the awakening.
Yeah, Groundswell is this radical fairy sanctuary, like out in 2 hours north of San Francisco, in a little place called Yorkville, California. It's a magical little place. So I like it. Okay, so I don't know. I was living in LA for like 2 years. It was in dark places, living in like dark places in my mind. And Grace Towers, I follow her on Instagram. I don't know her. I didn't know her. I didn't know anyone. I like gone to a couple of her shows, but I didn't know her. But I knew that I like loved everything about her. And she was doing this healing event, like this POC healing event. And it was just like come and heal, and it was very much, and it was like one of the things that really got me was like the no transphobia, no toxic masculinity, no like misogyny, no like all, it's just like all these things. And I was like, oh my god, this is like a world that like I feel like I could go to, and like it really there's no excuse as to why I could have a bad time, like if I have a bad time, it's my fault, like so I didn't know anyone, and I just went, and I spent 3 days there, and I felt like I really like learned a lot about myself during that time. We had some really cool conversations, met some really magical people, met so many amazing people that I like still like are in my heart today. Like I don't really, yeah. They're all like, it's just magical people. And I feel like, yeah, they were like, it was like the first time I felt part of a community in like such a long time. One that reflected like my own personal values.
Your own values.
Yeah, my own values. And so then, and then after that, it was kind of like, okay, so like my whole world shifted, and I'm like, okay, so what am I going to create? What am I going to do? I don't know. What am I going to do with my life? And then, yeah. So
well, that's where you first performed.
Oh yeah, I performed there too.
Right?
Yeah, I performed there. I performed Janelle Monáe. Okay. So afraid.
So fitting.
Yes, I was in drag. Well, they have a drag barn there. That's like, okay, so like I have my own personal drag barn at my grandma's house, and that's like where I work out of. But like the idea of drag barn came from Groundswell. And that, because like I went in that drag barn and then I like came out something like totally different, you know, and then I performed and yeah, so.
Well, I feel the drag barn, because you have one here in San Diego, but also you have the drag barn in Long Beach at the Hen Haus. I feel like it's a portal where we go in as one person and then come out something totally changed and different. How did you feel when you first did drag, when you first performed?
I mean, I was ready to be seen. I was like, I knew like, okay, so like even in the email, like even in the thing, it said like, I mean, I saw photos of it, like I saw photos from Groundswell, and it's just like really tall trees and like cabins and what else? They had a stage and a whole like fire pit, and it's like a whole little arena. It's a little miniature like stage, like theater, I should say, with the fire pit. And I like, from the moment I got there, I was like, I'm going to perform. I knew I was going to perform the whole time, you know. I was ready to perform. I was ready to just like release it all. And yeah, so yeah, what was your question again? I'm like,
what did it feel like?
What did it feel like? I felt like I was seen. I don't know, what did it feel like? I don't know what it felt like. How did you feel? How did I feel? I felt liberated. I felt like I let it all out, you know, like I was able to let everything. I released a lot. It was like releasing almost, and because I haven't performed like that. I would perform as a kid, like as a child. I would do like talent shows, and I would do like perform in like high school and like the theater, you know. But then I stopped performing, and I don't know. I guess the first place that told me no, I was like, oh my god, no, they don't like me. So I never performed ever again.
She wasn't ready for show business.
I wasn't ready, you know. I wasn't ready to hear no. Don't tell me no. But yeah, so then after that I performed again. I was like, oh, like this is really like a fun thing for me. So yeah, so then ever since then I just like I'm tied to the stage. I'm a slave to the stage. I'm a slave to the camera, a slave to the spotlight.
I think it is liberating. I think drag is powerful, and I think that everybody should do it. You know, when you look good, you feel good. And when you can create your own identity, create what you want to look like, not what the world wants to see from you, but more like, this is what's within me, and I'm going to bring this out. I'm going to wear my makeup this way. I'm not going to shave my beard or my mustache. Why? Because I don't have to. You know, Grace Towers really taught me that. You know, Grace Towers would show up, full face, beard, hairy legs, hairy armpits, hairy arms, and it's like, wow.
She smells really good.
Does she smell good?
Oh yeah.
Maybe. Are you making fun of? Is that a joke?
No, it's not a joke. She actually does.
Does she really smell good?
Yeah, she does.
I never notice. I notice when people smell bad. I noticed that right away. I'm like, go take a shower. No, but Grace, you know, it's kind of like you make your own rules. You can really make your own. It's almost like acting. You can make your own rules. You can be glamorous one day. You can be plain and simple the next.
Yes.
You call all the shots. You've really been able to call the shots.
I do call the shots
for yourself.
Oh, yeah. 100%. Yes.
Yeah. Nobody else calls those shots.
Yes.
For you.
Yeah, definitely.
Growing up, was it always like that?
No, I never called. I feel like everyone always called shots for me, I suppose. I don't know. Like, I mean, sure, I like called some of the shots. I don't really know. No, I don't feel like I ever really called any of the shots growing up. And so like now where I'm at is I'm like, oh, now I'm like calling the shots. And I just like went full on, I'm calling all the shots, period. You know, like I have a hard time when people try calling shots for me, you know, and I'm like, gives me all these trust issues. So I went like, yeah, from like calling like 0 shots in my life to just calling every single shot in my life. Yes. And yeah, with that, a lot of like, you know, releasing a lot of like, just like, I don't know. And so with that, I'm like, I have a hard time when people try to call the shots for me. So I'm like, I'm learning how to let people in, and how to like call shots, how to like let other people call the shots without feeling like they're coming for me.
It's not a personal attack.
Yeah.
It's nothing personal when people call shots. But also, we've watched you blossom and bloom into, I don't want to say this character, but I do want to call it this being, I guess you could call it. The being of whatever I see right here before me. You know, this thing that you have blossomed and bloomed and continue to become. We see you shed old things and then really create your own new. Let's talk about that one time at the beach where you had an audience around you and angel wings. And how big are those shoes?
My platforms.
Are they 12 inches?
Yeah.
Are they?
The platforms? I don't know. They're not 12 inches. How big are those platforms? They're like 7 inches. I don't know how big.
They're not 7.
They're not 7. I have
like
no
9.
idea. 9?
Like my ex-husband. 9 inches.
Yes. I've been on shrooms all summer. Like all summer, I was like on shrooms.
Were you on shrooms that day?
I was on shrooms that day, 100%. Yes.
Now, when you say shrooms, he had a little bit of honey.
I microdosed.
Yes,
I microdosed. And like I had my platforms in the back of my car. We went to Black's Beach, you know, like had a couple of cocktails, you know, like was feeling good. And then by the time, you know, sunset came around and I was like going up the mountain. So we're all climbing up the mountain. And I was just kind of like, I went up the mountain, then I went down the mountain, then I went up. I was just like moving around. And then by the time I got to the top, I was like, I'm going to get on my car and I'm going to perform. I'm going to fucking put on my chromatica. I'm going to live my fantasy. So I put on my platforms that I had in my trunk, luckily, and put on Babylon from Gaga. And then I just started dancing on the roof of my car. I fucked up the roof. But I never felt more like, yes, this is why I bought the car.
You even made the car your stage.
I made the car my stage, yes. I love a stage. I love a performance.
So for those of you guys listening, Black's Beach, you have to hike down and then hike back up to get to your car or to get to the beach. And as we were hiking back up, I think it was Danny Lasangan who said he was drunk. And then he was having a hard time coming back up the hill. And Noni tells him, you know, it's just one of those journeys you're going to have to face alone.
I did.
Only you can do it.
I kept giving everyone motivational quotes as we went up the mountain.
He was. And then Danny Lasangan got mad at me. And then he was like, I just want to commit suicide. And I said, fine, well, hurry up, quit talking and just do it. I'm sick of hearing your ass complain. And Noni was like, oh, I cannot hear these words. No. You did not tell someone just to do it. That is not how we go about business, Jack. I'm like, let him do it. I'm sick of hearing her. And so then Danny grabbed my neck and he goes, I will be the one that they say in all the papers, I killed JustJack.com. And Noni was like, I can't watch. So she runs back up the hill.
And then I probably ran into Jasmine and Angel and like took a selfie with Jasmine and Angel. And then I came back down and I was like, oh my gosh, you guys are still here. And then I like ran back up. Yes.
So then finally, after the last drunk finally makes it up, Wanga finally makes it up the hill, we hear in the distance in the parking lot music. And Riff looks over and he's like, oh, is that one of ours? And I look way out in the distance and it's Noni on top of his car dancing with a huge crowd around him. And I was like, that's Noni. And then fucking Riff, he's like, oh, what a find. My favorite line. What a find.
Yes.
It's like, where do we find you? He found us.
It's true.
They all find us.
Yes.
We all find each other.
And then we dance. Then someone Yeah, and then Riff had to go get car keys because someone took car keys.
Oh yes, yes, yes.
Yes, and
That's
so we just stayed
right.
there and like partied and like blasted the music, kept the party going. Everyone was in my car.
We were all
Yes.
there. Even Jaime was there. Remember the kids were all not the kids. These were grown men. They were twerking.
Yeah,
And
it was a party.
It's
It was
a
a
nude
party.
beach, and so they're half naked. And as gay people, they're half naked as it is, anyways. You know, that's where we met Joel. Remember Joel?
Yes,
He just came out of the blue.
Joel came and partied with us.
And partied with us.
Yes, and then there was someone else too. I forget their name, but they were
irrelevant and memorable.
Oh.
I remember who it was. I didn't like the little fool.
Oh,
remember, they were crazy.
Yeah,
they were crazy. They were like on uppers, downers, and candy corns. I'm down for people who are on uppers, downers, and candy corns. But when he was a little. He wasn't my cup of tea.
It turned into a party.
It was a party.
And then by the end of it, I was handing out, the whole time I was handing out hand sanitizers. I was handing out wipies to everyone. I'm like, everyone please sanitize. I'm like, social distance, I'm like.
And then finally we get everybody packed in the car, except Riff. And so, he's not mad, but he's just like, Jack, where is Riff? What's going on with Riff?
Oh, yeah.
And here comes Riff. And he's like, Riff, here's your sanitizer.
Sanitize your hands.
Sanitize your hands, Riff. Such fun times.
Yeah, that was a really good time.
Always a good time, guarantee. Mm-hmm. Always a good time. I can't remember the last time I didn't have a good time when we were all together.
It's always fun.
It's always a fun time.
Yes.
Let's go into a shameless plug. Make sure you guys visit justjack.com with 2 S's, JUSSTJACK.com, where you can see more videos, audios, podcasts, get some free stuff, buy some stuff, support local business, support your local gay people. As Dolly Parton says, it takes a lot to look this cheap. Noni, shameless plug.
Do I have any shameless plugs? Oh, yes. Oh, watch my live stream. Okay, so my show, watch my show is going to be on December 30th at 6 p.m. on twitch.com.
The 30th or the 31st?
30th. December 30th. So it's like in a week.
What time?
6 o'clock.
6 o'clock.
Yes.
Only on Twitch, no Instagram?
No, it's only going to be on twitch.com. Yeah. And then I'll maybe post the holiday special like on the 31st. I'll probably post it on the 31st on my Instagram. Actually, no. Let's wipe that from the record because I want people to watch the live stream.
Can we put a link to the live stream on the justjack.com website?
Oh, yeah. It'll be twitch.com/QueQueerr.
Okay.
On all platforms.
And I'll put it on the justjack.com website on the 30th. That way at 6 o'clock PST, anybody can watch it. So come join us, support local artists, support your local are we starving? We're not starving.
I'm starving. Look how skinny I am.
Mija, eat something. Que flaca. Not que queer, que flaca. No, but we are. I am not starving. That's most definite. I'm not starving. Shoot, I can live for a few more months. I could feed a small country. Let's ask an empowering question before we go. Would you like to pick a card?
Yes,
any card. And make sure you join our group, the Court of Miracles, where miracles happen every day. Just kidding. On Facebook. We'll leave the link in the description wherever this is.
Oh, wait. Is it? Oh, yeah, it is. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I got one. Empowering questions. Who am I?
Who am I? Who are you, child?
Did you pull one? Or is that one yours?
Yep, I got one.
What's yours?
Yours is first. Who am I?
Oh, mine. Who am I? I will give. Who am I? I don't know who I am. I don't know who I am. Who am I?
You're like, I don't know anymore.
Right? I am anything you want me to be.
How much you paying? Depends on how many zeros are on the check. Depends on how much I'm showing you who I am. What do you do for a living?
It's true. It's true.
Who do you think you are?
Who do I think I am? Who do I think I am? I don't know. I think I'm Noni. I don't know. I'm like, I'm like, yeah.
Mine is, what is my worst fear? My worst fear is that I'll be mediocre. What did I say? What was my fear the other day? Oh, my biggest fear was that I wouldn't allow love to love me. But I'm not scared of that anymore. I feel like love has been loving me. I receive love from many directions, so I'm not really scared of that. I'm scared of mediocrity. I'm scared that I'm going to wake up one day and be like all the rest of those fools out there doing what they do and being content. I never want to be content. That's my biggest fear.
That's a good one. It's a good thing not to be.
They're trying to figure out who you are. Who am I when I'm alone?
You're gonna go through them? You're cherry picking them.
How or in what way do I experience myself when I'm alone?
That's a question. Do you really want to know? Subscribe to my OnlyFans and you will find all about all of it.
Is there something I should give up or let go of so that I can move forward? Yeah, JustJack.com. Fire him. He no longer serves you.
Is that question for me?
Yeah.
Oh. Is there something I should give up or let go of so that I can move forward? Oh, I'm sure there is. Let's see. Something I should let go of moving forward. I should probably let go of those poppers.
And we've come full circle. We've come full circle.
Am I going to? No.
What we should do and what we're going to do are two very different things. Once again, we thank you for coming to the show. Go ahead, like and subscribe to all of our platforms: YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Twatter, OnlyFans. What else do we have? Newsletters and email subscription, all that fun stuff. And why don't you go ahead and share this with a friend, especially a queer friend who would be interested in just listening to two crazy little queers.
Share this link.
Who are making magic in this world. Don't forget to create. Don't forget to make magic. And don't forget to take a moment to be friendly. I am your host, JustJack.com, with my friend
Noni.
QueQueerr.
QueQueerr.
With 3 E's.
All of it.
3's a party.
Bye.
Bye, Felicia.